Welcome to the Blizzard Arena.
And the quest for a champion begins today.
The anticipation has been building, and it is finally time. We are live.
Are you ready?
That is a really...
Can you get over the roof there?
Oh my.
Oh my,
what a play, what a grab!
Another jump here on the high ground. Super goes forward, but gets stuck up. The EMP comes in, and ding, he rains down hell from above.
Here comes Pine. Gets one, gets two. Looking for a bit more, gets another one.
Tuno's down again. That heralds disaster generally for the Fusion, and Carpe wasn't far behind. Prophet, he's killed 4 players now on his own.
From Vancouver, locks him in the sound barrier. Sound is huge. The bomb coming from China. Oh my God, he does it again.
Flutter now moving onto the Widowmaker, taking the clutch into his own hands. The headshot after headshot after headshot.
Okay, I like this for the Gladiators. We're gonna try and circle around. I'm gonna call this the merry-go-round because it makes me laugh. Makes me happy. And Sean Paul switches to the Widowmaker at just the right time.
Oh, the Raven.
I'm the best tracer in the world.
Oh my word.
I mean, you could have told me that you spoke English, honestly.
The fans never thought they'd see this day. It took 43 matches. Feels like a really emotional moment here.
Hello. Welcome back. Now, we're gonna talk about Snow White. No, we're gonna talk about just quick rundown of Agatha, because that show, I'm not sure which is, again, I'd rather watch Rings of Power than this show. Like, I've been, okay, what, where are we, ballad, yada, 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 ROP Plaza, basically, curse, family curse, yet protection, but basically gay at the end, yada yada. So basically, family curse and Aubrey Plaza and Agatha being gay. I mean, there's not much to it. Okay, nah. I mean, I don't know what else. How do you review Agatha? I mean, she's a Green Witch. Yeah, I mean, Alice, Mother, Family Curse, Ballad, they sing, Moonlight, and Dress and Gay. I mean, there's not much else. Okay, anyway, we're gonna talk about now Snow White and her continuous intending of damaging the movie and her own face. So we're gonna go over that, look at that now. So
Told me before that your version of Snow White is different and it's more of a 2022 version of Snow White. What did you mean by that?
I mean, you know, the original cartoon came out in 1937, and very evidently so.
All right. Okay, what's wrong with that?
There's a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her.
Yeah.
Weird.
I think you didn't understand what the story was about.
Weird.
Super weird.
So we didn't do that this time.
How Snow White star Rachel Ziegler really feels about those toxic Disney fans. Oh, this should go over very well for a film that has had a marketing disaster beyond belief. And it's all because of Rachel Ziegler and her disrespect towards the source material. And the fact that no one is actually looking forward to this project at all because it doesn't care about the.
I mean, when you have Disney fans angry at you, I think you've messed up. Maybe that's me, but when even not our people, not our crowd, hate you, you're in a bad spot.
Source material, and in fact it goes out of its way to disrespect the source material. And then you have the star of the movie, Rachel Ziegler, who has consistently disrespected the source material, which is a consistent problem within the entertainment industry, whether this is video games, whether it's movies, whether it's television. You're seeing a consistent disrespect of the source material, which is a huge problem. Which is why all of this is happening, and none of these people are willing to admit that they are the problem. No, it's the fans. It's always the fans' fault. That's the problem.
Yes, it's always our fault something fails, not because it's bad, not because it's terrible, but because we didn't like it. I thought we were the minority, but somehow it's our fault.
Problem. But of course, the fans have voiced their displeasure with this upcoming Snow White movie. 1.2 million downvotes on the most recent teaser trailer over on Walt Disney Studios' YouTube page. 1.2 million downvotes. Absolutely insane. And if you remember, Rachel Ziegler in this interview is where a lot of the problem started, where she had these cringe statements right here.
It's different and it's more of a 2022 version of Snow White. What did you mean by that?
I mean, you know, the original cartoon came out in 1937, and very evidently so. There's a big focus.
Good Lord, how incredibly unlikable can you be?
Of Snow White. What did you mean by that?
I mean, you know, the original cartoon came out in 1937, and very evidently so. There's a big focus on her love story. With a guy who literally stalks her.
I think you didn't. I mean, yeah, but if but also, she's talking about the Disney version, not the Grimm's fairy tale version. So, if we were talking about the Grimm's fairy tale version of Snow White, then maybe I'd give a pass. But also, she's being very obnoxious and hateful the way she's saying it as well. But also, we're talking about the Disney family-friendly one, the one that made Disney money, and if it didn't succeed, Disney would not exist today. Not the Grimm fairy tale one. Which is, yeah. I mean, if it was the Grimm fairy tale, this would be a different conversation. But since it's not, we're having this conversation.
Weird.
Super weird.
So we didn't do that this time.
So no Prince or a different kind of Prince?
We have a different approach to what I'm sure a lot of people will assume is a love story just because, like, we cast a guy in the movie.
Right.
Andrew Burnap, great dude.
Yeah.
It's one of those things that I think everyone's going to have their assumptions about what it's actually going to be, but it's really not about the love story at all, which is really, really wonderful. And whether or not she finds love along the way is anybody's guess until 2024. All of Andrew's scenes could get cut. Who knows? It's Hollywood, baby. But it's one of those things.
So true.
It's an inner.
Whew. So anyway,
that's a rough one. I mean, the expectation. I mean, I guess people are going to assume that the Snow White movie is going to have talk about love, since that's kind of the story of Snow White. Did I miss something?
we get back to this Slash Film article. Slash Film is a garbage website ran by garbage people.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, even if it's, regardless of which came first, we're talking about the Disney one, not the Grimm's one, because if it was the Grimm's, I don't think it would be as bad. But since we're talking about the Disney's supposed family-friendly one that made the money, it's a different story.
A very much of a shill website, and they have no problem, shilling for Disney and Hollywood and licking the corporate boot, which is exactly what they're probably going to be doing in this article right here. Ever since her feature film debut in Steven Spielberg's masterful remake of West Side Story.
I will say I didn't watch West Side Story. I heard it was okay or not great. I did watch her Hunger Games one. It wasn't terrible. It just... nothing she's done has been, like, amazing. I didn't watch West Side Story. I heard it was not great.
Rachel Ziegler has become a lightning rod for controversy. Although, to be incredibly frank, it's usually because people are being weird and racist to her on the...
I mean, it's also her having the inability to be quiet. If we are being hateful, it's because she also is hateful first. So sorry we are pushing back against your also hatred, so don't dish what you can't take, as the saying goes.
The internet. That has definitely been the case when it comes to Ziegler's other upcoming remake, Snow White, where she plays a Disney princess. And in a recent profile, she told Variety that her film creates an alternative history regarding the princess's name, and said that she tries to ignore the rudest Disney fans, specifically angry ones angry that a Latina actress is playing Snow White.
Because the character's description literally means skin as white as snow. And it's a German folk tale as well, so am I missing something that the description explains what the problem is? Like, I don't know if you cast, I mean, I'm not saying this would be unfair, but say you cast an Asian, at least the description of her skin would make sense. Not her being, I mean, unless she can speak German, but that's different. I'm just saying, at least make the skin description of Snow White be accurate, because her skin isn't white as snow. Just saying that.
It fell back to another version of Snow White that was told in history, where she survived a snowstorm that occurred when she was a baby. And so the king and queen decided to name her Snow White to remind her of her resilience.
That explanation is the dumbest explanation I've seen or heard to explain why you race swap someone. Like, oh, the reason we're naming her this time is she survived a snowstorm. Because that makes sense. No, it's stupid.
One of the core points in our film is that any young woman or young person is remembering how strong you actually are. As Ziegler says in the profile, the negative reaction to her being cast as Snow White comes down to basic misogyny and hatred.
Of course it does, because everything does at this point. I don't know. Does it even mean anything anymore? I don't know anymore. Because that word's been thrown around to the point I don't even know if they know what that actually means. Because yeah, they don't know.
I've watched women get torn down my whole life, my whole career. We're going to witness that for a long time, I fear. Sometimes it can feel like we're going back. It certainly felt that way when it was happening. Still, she simply stays online when people are awful to her to maintain the power. I don't like giving them the satisfaction of knowing that they hurt me in the moment. You give them a lot of power by taking a social media break. You're telling them that they bother you right now. In this interview,
you're literally admitting that they bother you by talking about them. If they didn't bother you, you would even mention us. Or if the people you say are attacking you, you would not mention them if it didn't actually truly bother you. But you're proving it does.
You're telling them that they have power over you right now. Ziegler wants her Snow White film to be more empowering than the original. Again, I
have two words to say to that, Rachel Ziegler, in two different languages. Good luck and Agatha.
Actually disrespecting the actual source material once again. This is why people were mad. You are showing disrespect.
Saying it's going to be more impactful than the original. First off, it's not, because the original literally prevented Disney from going bankrupt, and is the reason Disney's even a famous company to begin with. And this is just a sloppy, soulless, cash grab and lazy attempt at a remake. People are tired of remakes, so no one's gonna care.
Respect towards the source material. That is going to piss people off. Fans is short for fanatic. People are passionate about these things. Besides the absurd racism surrounding Rachel Ziegler as Snow White, the actress also made waves by criticizing the original Disney animated film, like I said. But of course, everything is about her race and her gender, according to /film. It has nothing to do with the fact that she's just disrespected the source material.
Yeah, maybe don't disrespect the source material, and we, won't make videos or talk about you, because it has nothing to do with your race or gender. We've attacked men, white, any race. If they talk like this, we'd say do the same thing.
She said, saying that director Mark Webb's take on the story will be a bit more enlightened as far as its female lead is concerned. Ziegler said the movie features the prince basically stalking Snow White and called the whole thing weird, while also noting that the entire focus is...
Well, by impactful, I mean impactful in a good sense. Not impactful to the point it's going to make them lose more money than they already are. Like, I'd like to see Disney maybe see the light. Maybe turn it around. I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon, but when it does, I will be happy when it eventually happens, however long that may be. We'll see when that happens, if it ever happens.
Is on Snow White's love story rather than her own personal development. This is a perfectly fair point to make, and yet Ziegler faced significant pushback. So what did she say about it now to Variety? In all honesty, it made me sad that it was taken in such a way, because I believe women can do anything, Ziegler said.
Do you want to go in the sewage? What about in the ocean doing the oil rig? How about, what's another one? power lines. Do you think they can do that? Just a question, Rachel. Just asking.
But I also believe they can do everything. Specifically, Ziegler said that she simply wants girls and women who see the film to feel like they have it all. And also clarified that the love story between Snow White and her prince is in the film, but it isn't the entire focus. I would never want to box someone in and say, if you want love, then you can't work. Or if you want to work, then you can't have a family. It's not true. It's never been true, and it can be very upsetting when things get taken out of context or jokes land. Ziegler clarified, the love story is very integral. A lot of people wrote that we weren't doing that love story anymore. We were always doing that. It just wasn't what we were talking about on that day. Man, can she continue? She needs to stop talking right now. Holy crap. As Ziegler put it, there's more than one way to play.
I agree. The more she talks, the more this movie is not going to make any money. This is why I like Eastern, and also why Lord of the Rings is so popular, because they didn't talk except about the movie. That's movies that are good is actors and cast and staff don't talk about their own personal opinions. They just say, I hope you enjoy the show, TV, game, whatever it may be. I hope you enjoy it, and if you don't, hey, it's not for everybody, but I hope you enjoy what we made, we are proud of it. And leave it at that. I mean, that's what East does, that's what Tolkien did. I mean, that's what actor of Aragorn was offended when he was asked something about his own opinions. I mean, is it so hard to just keep your own personal opinions to yourself when you're talking about something you're working on that's especially Disney or another company? Just keep your own personal opinions to yourself when you're promoting a movie. Or just don't make the movie look terrible.
Play a Disney princess. It feels incredible that despite the completely outrageous hatred she received from random online trolls, Rachel Ziegler maintained such a positive attitude about her career and her upcoming projects.
What were you seeing positive? Because I'm not seeing it.
Including the moment that she tells Variety that she has a personal connection to Snow White. She was my mom's favorite princess. When she was growing up, there were a lot of dark-haired princesses, and that was the one she could relate to. There weren't a lot, of dark-haired princesses, and that's the one she could relate to. Ziegler also makes an excellent point where she says that she...
Because, of course, it was about representation.
She watched Brandy's 1997 version of Cinderella, the one featuring Whitney Houston as the fairy godmother. By the way...
Oh, yeah, I 100% agree. How much money is being poured into this movie already? Her own talking about it is damaging the movie in terms of excitement, how much money it's going to make, if people even care to watch it. I mean, she's even making people who probably were excited to see it, and Disney fans, hate her and not want to see the movie. So you're damaging people who were fine, wanted to watch it. Yeah, it's just going to be a mess.
Whitney Houston's one of the greatest singers of all time. Constantly as a kid, and that Disney princesses can be played by anybody across as many adaptations as possible and still the same character. Do you know?
I mean, if you write it well, where it actually is believable, what you want a Chinese Snow White, you can make it a Chinese one in the Chinese storyline, but actually make it in China or something like that. I mean, if you wanted a Latino one, you could have just made Snow White and say this is our Latino inspiration from Snow White and make it all about that culture instead of trying to still make it about the Snow White German culture. Just saying.
Oh, do you know what didn't happen when Brandy was Cinderella? People hating on it. Do you know why? Because,
well, yeah, some will still watch it, but not nearly, especially considering how many people don't really care about live actions that much. I mean, I would say either it's Mulan, The Lion King, or Aladdin. That was the last one people actually trusted. I mean, Mulan with eyes. That one hurt me. That one is the last one I watched. I mean, live action is just, no one cares about live actions as much. There's going to be some people who still watch it, but not nearly as much as probably if she didn't say anything.
I don't recall Brandy or Whitney Houston or anyone involved with the production calling fans racist and sexist. Preemptively calling them racist and sexist. I don't remember that at all. I remember no negativity around Brandy's Cinderella. None. And Brandy was hugely popular when I was younger. And Whitney Houston's a freaking legend. Like, Whitney Houston's an absolute legend, one of the greatest singers of all time. So I don't remember any of that back then. As a matter of fact, I remember nothing but people enjoying that movie. But of course, Rachel Ziegler criticizes, like, imagine if Brandy comes out and says, yeah, we want to make this version better because the old version, that's just an old out-of-date version of Cinderella, and we're here to tell a modern story to empower women, and anybody that criticizes that is racist and sexist. That didn't happen. But it happened with Rachel Ziegler.
And back then, when that was made, that wouldn't have flown as much as it does now. Also, Jeremy, why are you looking for cheddar, white cheddar cheese? Okay, anyway, that calling people racist and sexist would not have flown as it does back then, because, you know, that crap didn't happen. So thank you, Niagara, for that one. Yeah, so...
And now she's playing the fake victim because people are criticizing.
As you do when you get criticized and called out, you play the victim, as per usual.
Criticizing her based on her disrespect of the source material. Now, again, do I justify...
Maybe he's making white cheddar mac and cheese, maybe. Maybe he just likes cheddar. I don't know.
Anyway. Anyone going after Rachel Ziegler at all? No. I think you should criticize her.
Yes. As we say, criticize the actress. Do not go after her, because they will also use that and say, oh, these people are making their fans attack this actress and this actress because she's this, and this. No. Criticize her, yes. Do not go after her or say, like, actually attack her, because that also doesn't help us. It makes us look bad when we're giving valid criticism. Like, you can ask her or, like, reply to her in a calm manner, but not attack her. Don't attack her. Even if you're, like, if you're talking to her directly, do not attack her. Just respectfully. Like, maybe criticize her, but don't do it respectfully. That's what we're asking. Yeah, I mean, I did ask it. That is fair. But then I will just, as we say, don't attack them. Just criticize them, but don't attack.
On her words, but you shouldn't take personal shots. But look, that's my opinion on it. I would never encourage anyone to go out there and do that. Of course, whenever I make videos like this, people online love to sit there and say, he's sending people to harass. I've never done that. I've never justified that. I never will.
And we never will justify that, because that is wrong.
Always have to clarify that in these videos. I'm simply reporting on what someone in the entertainment industry is doing. That's it. Not encouraging any type of harassment or hate. Never have, never will. Obviously, we watched the cartoon Ziegler continued, but a child's mind is the most amazing thing, where we're just like, okay, that's Cinderella. But the blonde-haired, blue-eyed, blue-dressed Cinderella from the 1950s cartoon is also Cinderella. Also, Hilary Duff is a Cinderella story. I was able to comprehend those things at a young age. In just a few short years, Rachel Ziegler has built an incredible career and courted...
Incredible is maybe stretching it. A decent one, sure. But controversy, 100%.
Controversy. After Rachel Ziegler sent an audition tape of West Side Story, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so this is just kind of going over like all this stuff here. Despite her powerhouse voice, serious acting chops, and frankly delightful presence on the red carpet, people are horrible to Ziegler. The Variety piece also includes an alarming anecdote about a time that someone on X, formerly known as Twitter, told Ziegler that someone should do that to her. Obviously, you're an idiot if you're doing that. No one should be.
That is too far. That's way over the line. Again, you are an idiot. Do not say that. That's retarded. Don't do that. Don't. That is the most idiotic thing you can do.
Again, all you're doing when people do that, and I don't think that there's any justification. There's no justification for it at all. And my whole thing is who exactly is doing it? Who is actually making these threats? Because nobody that I know would sit there and say that to another person just based on the fact that they said something controversial. They just wouldn't do it. And if they did, they know that they would be called out by somebody like me. You should never say that. Never, ever say that. And anyone saying that, there's only two reasons that someone would say that. To troll and then try to make it look like it's coming from people like me, or you're just completely unhinged and no one wants anything to do with you.
Yeah, either that you're trying to make the critics or the people that are criticizing her look bad, or you are just an idiot.
Like, there's really no justification for it at all. None. Absolutely disavow 100%. You're not welcome here if you're telling people to kill themselves on social media over them being an actor, because all that does is makes everybody connected look bad. Don't justify it at all. Don't support it at all. 100%. Fun fact, I will be dying 8 times a week on this Broadway this fall. She told the random jerk to go ahead and get a ticket and also tag the FBI for good measure. Being famous isn't about the faint of heart. Well, again, it gets said to me too, by the way. I get told these horrible...
I mean, I got told...
Ready for some dinner?
I mean, yeah, there's both. I've been called that too.
Things every day, and I'm just a random low-tier YouTuber. That's all I am. So I would imagine that somebody like Rachel Ziegler or anybody on that level gets a lot of criticism and a lot of hate. That's just part of it. I'm not saying it's right, because I get it to a much smaller level than any of them. And it's not fun when it happens, but don't sit there and act like it's just one specific person doing it. There are unhinged people out there, and they like to take full advantage of the situation, but it doesn't make it right. It doesn't make it right at all. So that's the end of it right there. At the end of the day, Rachel Ziegler is creating massive problems for Disney and this film. And when you see reactions like this, it's only...
Yeah, that's not a good one. That's a ratio if I've ever seen one.
Going to get worse with an interview like this. This was not a good interview at all. This did not help at all. This only hurt everything that they are trying to do with this movie. And we'll see what happens. I mean, how many times are they going to continue to do this? At the end of the day, if you make a film, let the film stand on its own. If the film's good, if the film's bad, whatever. But when you start blaming fans for any criticism, guess what? No matter what you make, there's going to be criticism for it. It doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter what it is. No matter what you make, there will be criticism.
That's life.
Biggest fan in the world of the Nolan trilogy. All right? Even The Dark Knight. There are people that'll tell you The Dark Knight is a terrible movie. I don't understand that. But there are people out there that think that, because there's nothing on the internet that is universally loved. There's nothing that is universally loved, period. That's the way of the world.
I mean, there's things that are close to universally loved, but no, there's no such thing as a universally loved thing. on the internet.
Everything is going to have some level of criticism, some things more than others. Will there be legitimate fans of this Snow White project? Yes, just like there's fans of Disney Star Wars, just like there's fans of Adam Sandler movies, just like there's fans of pretty much anything that's out there. But in terms of the overall numbers, the majority of people are not going to be into this for various amount of reasons. But Rachel Ziegler's words are not going to help. They're only going to hurt. And this is what's alienating so many people from this stuff, because they're sick and tired of these stars attacking the fan base. You guys have a great day. Thank you very much for checking out this video, and we will talk to you later.
Mucinex Night Shift fights your worst nighttime symptoms, so you can get to
Yes, I forgot to I should have posted the YouTube video. Thank you, Nacronal. So we're going to look at this article from that workplace. So the report says that supposedly she was not the first choice. So yeah, before she was the option. And then there's also this. Just try to cancel Gmail. JK? She's a crow. Yeah, I will say even. Oh. I like to say good luck trying to cancel JK Rowling. It hasn't happened yet. Bully. Yeah, she was part of the. She was part of the Corona Bully Brigade. Okay. Yeah, according to Latino Slant, the runner-up for the snow was Rena Vetka, another young Latino actress. Yeah, is that the only other option? I mean, to be fair, there's probably a better. Anyone's better than her, since considering what she is. Yeah. So that's that. So someone else was considered before her. And we're going to talk about Rings of Power for a second, because me and Nacronal later tonight are going to suffer through the last episode. We're going to suffer through the last episode of Rings of Power. And a bunch of other people. So the so-called Tolkien professor, yeah. I've talked to some people who claim to be Tolkien professors. At least one, it doesn't really mean much to be fair, anyone can be a Tolkien professor, quotation marks. So, I would take the word Tolkien professor with a tiny, tiny grain of salt. That there's no such thing as canon. I mean, yeah, there is. Okay, attempt to defend Rings of Power. Yeah, this guy's very well known for shilling for Rings of Power. Who has dubbed himself the Tolkien professor. I mean, that there's no such thing as Tolkien. Yeah. Another thing, there's many being called Tolkien professors, or claimed to be. Here comes. Oh, just put it. Oh. Would you look at that? Okay. Oh, yeah. It's. Let's see what the reply is saying. It's like, oh. Never fails to get stuff wrong. But, yeah. It's scary. Yeah, are you happy, Nagranol? We get to suffer to. We get to. I mean, to be fair, on the bright side, Nagranol, it's one episode. We have one. It's the last episode, so it's one more episode, and then we're done. And it seems, from what Jess was saying earlier today, it seems to be really bad. So I'm not excited either. All right, yeah, there you go, Gary. I'm not. Well, claim is absurd. Yeah. Oh, she said it was that bad? So she said it was worse than the last episode with Galadriel and Elrond mother-in-law kissing. If it's worse than that, oh boy, we're in for a rough one tonight. Alright. Ready to tell stories. True. Rise, yeah. Tolkien specifically noted that in Lord of the Rings the letters. Why did comments on film treatment? Yeah, how do you think he'd feel watching Rings of Power? So is she saying it's worse than last episode? Because that was really bad. Yeah. Yeah, it's a bunch of BS. Blah, blah, blah. There is canon Tolkien. Yeah, everything not called Rings of Power. Well, I think his claim is complete and utter crap. That's as someone who's watched every episode except the last one, you don't want to watch it. It's rough. It's really bad. Yeah, it's imagine it's basically the equivalent of playing Dustborn, but as a TV show. But Agatha is worse, but it's pretty bad. It's like the worst video game. Yeah, it's like Concord or Dustborn but in TV show form. Yeah. It's not great. Okay, what else? I already did that. Wait, what? Wait, where's the Star Wars Outlaws? Oh, there's that. Oh yeah, on Skull and Bones. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. This game clearly is successful. To waste their money on that. I mean, I'm reviewing the show, so I kind of. I mean, if I don't report on it, or don't review it, they're like, why didn't you watch it? Why are you reporting on it if you never watched it? I mean, also, I do care about Lord of the Rings a lot. So that is another reason why I am reporting on it, because I actually do care about it. So, oh yeah, this went well. Ooh, that looks like a Lego head, actually. I mean, yeah, that didn't go too well. Yeah, I mean, he's claiming there's no such thing as canon. Oh yeah, let's just. Yeah, let's
First thing to specify is that there's no such thing really as canon in Tolkien.
Yes, there is. Are you stupid? Yeah, I'm watching this video because I clearly do not like myself, and I apologize for making you watch it.
Tolkien's ideas were ever evolving.
Thank you kindly, Grando.
My gosh.
In the text of the Lord of the Rings, we are told that Gandalf, with the other wizards, arrived at around year 1000 of the Third Age. And in his...
Yes. Because there was no wizards in the Second Age. That's been confirmed. That is literally canon. But unless you want to say there's no such thing, then you can twist it however you want.
In his later years, he was playing with the idea of maybe Gandalf coming sooner, maybe some of the wizards...
How would you know this? He was dead by the time you were even a baby.
...coming in the Second Age and taking part in the Wars of the Rings of Power.
No, he wasn't. Aren't you thick in the head?
When it comes to Gandalf, that's the most common name that people know him by. But what are some of the other...
Do you know why he's not called Gandalf in the show? They don't have the rights to call him. Because if they did, they would call him Gandalf from the start.
Other names, like a personal favorite of mine is Olorn.
He's known as Mithrandir among the elves and in Gondor. He's known as Gandalf in the north. He's known as Tharkun to the dwarves.
That's a good one.
Yeah, it is a good one. And he's known as Incanus in the south. When he lived in Valinor among the gods, his name was Oloran. So it suggests he's been around lots of places, has impacted many different communities and many different peoples, and they've known him under many different names. That same passage where he talks about his different names, he says...
Oh, we're gonna see the origin of how he got his staff, guys. Aren't you excited to see how Gandalf got his staff? Yeah, me either.
To the east I go not. When you look at that context, he's talking to a dude from Gondor, and the people of Gondor, they call Mordor the east. He meant, don't expect me to go throw down with, you know, the Dark Lord at the gates of Barad-dûr.
So when it comes to Gandalf, what is his general purpose in Middle-earth?
Peace?
Gandalf is described as coming to bring encouragement to the people of Middle-earth. He just goes around the world
Spreading hope.
Yeah, spreading hope and helping where he can.
I don't know what to say. I mean, I think I can think of something to say, but I think this is the best I got. Yeah, it's pretty accurate. Because I don't know what do you say? What do you say it is? There's lies. That's what it was. I mean, I don't know. Man. I mean, to be fair, they're literally just trying to. They hate. They truly do hate Vulcan. What? You have a. I mean, I guess Lord of the Rings is one of the last few. It is the reason fantasy genre exists. I mean, it's just basically, it's like I don't know what would be the best description. If let's say hypothetically before Star Wars was destroyed, you basically go to George Lucas died and they spit on his and basically did the same thing they did, but he was dead before they did it. That's kind of the best description I can give. His Tolkien is very respected, so I mean, in a sense, it is trivial. I'd say it's more. I mean, considering that this show, it's basically the acolyte for Lord of the Rings, but the acolyte happened way after Star Wars was already dead. So it would basically be if the first thing Disney did was make the acolyte, and the acolyte is what we got, is what the acolyte became. It basically become that. That's basically what Rings of Power is if acolyte was the first thing Disney did, instead of making good stuff, then deciding to insult Star Wars. So, and considering the author can't, defend himself, it's more the fans, I guess, responsibility to defend the franchise and the books, because the author and also the ironic thing is the son. They started this right after the son died. So I mean, oh, here's an interesting article, actually. What I did was talk about games. Okay. So vice president who worked on Rainbow Six left Ubisoft. I mean, yeah. Yeah, I mean they've only paid for only the time period that they made the show is the only part of Lord of the Rings they have. So they don't have the movie. They don't have Lord of the Rings itself. They have that small part. They don't have the 3 books and the Hobbit. They don't have that stuff. They only had the small part. But someone left Ubisoft. Okay. Been replaced. It is unclear why. I would imagine Ubisoft being in a dump is a reason.
Finish your stuff and then get your stuff out. I want to leave in like 10 minutes.
Okay.
Eat. Now.
Who knows? Might be new player. It says. I mean, I would imagine the reason would be, Ubisoft is not doing so good. So, obviously, at a company that is trash right now. Comes with the disaster announcement. Yeah. Especially after this. And Assassin's Creed coming up as well. So, I think probably made a good choice because you have this thing right here where they you probably saw that Rings of Power, not Rings of Power, Star Wars Outlaws did horrendous. Then he sees that Assassin's Creed Shadows is probably going to be as equally as bad. Probably a little bit better, but still pretty bad. And decided to get out while he can. Maybe do something else. Who knows? So. That is my guess on why he would leave. I mean, when you have your company doing as bad as Ubisoft is, why would you stay? Especially when they're insulting Japan, of all things. And Japan is in how they're being treated with the shadows and, all that stuff. There's no reason to really stay. I guess money would make you want to stay, but if your stock over here is going down by 30% from 50 euros to 350 million euros, that's a bad jump. And so far, all their stuff has not gone too well. It is a failure. So, stuff is probably not gonna survive. And with that said, that's the end of the stream. I will see you Monday when I review the last episode of Rings of Power. Until next time, I will see you later.
With it, inspecting your post, it looks like your opinion is... Nice opinion. Just one tiny problem with it. Inspecting your post, it looks like your opinion is different from mine. let me tell you something. I am the baseline for opinions. Any opinion I hold is objectively correct, and as a result, any other opinions are wrong. Guess what? You happen to hold a wrong one. I hope you know that your opinion is now illegal. I have contacted the FBI, the CIA, the NSA, the Navy SEALs, Secret Service, and your mom. You'll be sorry you ever shared your opinions. By the time you're reading this, you'll be done for. Nature will punish you. Humanity will punish you. Supernatural beings will punish you. Space will punish you. We decided just to make sure we'll nuke your house from orbit, so there's no chance you can run away. Everyone will know you will die. It's a small price to pay to remove your wrong opinion from this world.
See ya.